Hi, and welcome to the Koonze Podcast. My name is Lucia Koonze, and I'll be your host today. In today's episode, we will talk a little bit about the NFL, what happened with the 49ers and the Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders against the Tennessee Titans, and Aaron Rodgers with the Packers against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And we will also go over the FIFA week, which will be about the United States against Japan and Mexico against Peru. Now, also, we will talk about a little bit about the game Mexico against Colombia that will be played tonight at Levi Stadium, and myself will be there doing the live updates of the game. So if you're not following me, please follow me on Twitter at Koonze_Lucia, on Facebook, Lucia Koonze, Instagram, Lucia Koonze9, and on TikTok, Lucia K32. And with that said, let's go over the 49ers and the Broncos. Okay, so the 49ers and the Broncos, before we get to the full detail of the game, made history because they were the second game or the second team to score at 11-10. The first time that ever happened in NFL history was Steelers against when they were the San Diego Chargers, and the Steelers beat the Chargers 11-10. Now, this is a weird scoring for an NFL history, but the 49ers and the Broncos made history being the second game scoring the same amount of points, which were not that many. So with that said, let's go over to the game. Under 8 minutes, touchdown by Brown Aiku and the 3-yard pass from Jimmy Garoppolo. And then Robbie Gould kick makes it 7-0. So far, so good, the team. Nothing that you can really say it went wrong, right? In the second quarter, though, a field goal by Brandon McManus under 12 minutes with a 55-yard line field goal brings the Broncos 3-7. Still the 49ers leading the game. In the third quarter, under 10 minutes, Mike Purcell with the safety brings the team 5-7. Still the 49ers leading. So far in that game, not much of a movement. They seem a lot of punts were made by Broncos. There were actually 10 plus punts in that game. So that tells you that the game wasn't really moving forward. But on the fourth quarter, under 15 minutes, a field goal by Robbie Gould, a 51-yard field goal, brings the Niners 10-5. And then under 5 minutes, Broncos with the touchdown, Melvin Gordon, 1-yard run, brings the team 11-10, and they missed the 2-point conversion. So with that said, the 49ers end up losing 11-10 against the Denver Broncos. But there's still a lot of controversial things going on with the Niners quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. Why? Well, according to FS1, Colin Cowherd said that Jimmy Garoppolo was not allowed to, or couldn't get, wasn't given, I should say, the playbook. He was not given a playbook. So the reason why they didn't give him a playbook was because they still believe that Lance could still come back and he could still perform. He's injured. I mean, I don't understand where the 49ers or, that whole believing that he could come back is. At the end of the day, Jimmy Garoppolo was your starter. He should have gone the playbook. He should have known what was going on or what to expect on the game. Nothing happened. Basically, Jimmy Garoppolo just went there, open mind, said, you know what? I can still do it. Guess what? He still did. He was the only one who actually did a really good pass for a touchdown early in the game. Well, not too early, but early in the game. And he missed. I mean, he got one interception. So what? Like at the end of the day, he still didn't get a playbook. And that is nothing to judge. I still think Jimmy Garoppolo was nervous. It was his first game actually to be in the starting line. Not like last game where because Lance got injured, he was sent in. And yet he still performed perfectly fine. With Jimmy's stats, he actually was given the stats of in the game and 18 for 29 on his pass attempts for 211 yards with 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and a quarterback ranking of 81.2. So at the end of the day, that tells you that he still can do a lot better with or without a playbook. So 49ers, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, he's still your quarterback. He's still one of your team players. Give him a playbook for the next game to start, because Lance is not coming. And I can tell you right now, he's not going to come next game. If he does, then I can close my mouth. But at the end of the day, still, Jimmy Garoppolo should deserve a playbook because he was your starter quarterback. With that said, let's go to the Raiders and the Titans. Now, the Raiders are the only team to have lost 3 consecutive games. It's been 3 weeks, and all of those 3 weeks they have lost. Not by much, though. Like last week, they didn't lose by, I think they lost by 2 points as well. Today, they lost another 2 points, by 2 points, or maybe last game was 1 point and today's 2 points. But at the end of the day, they lost 24-22. So let's go to the game. In the first quarter, Geoff swung with a 2-yard pass by Ryan Tannehill, and then Randy Bullock with the kick. Tennessee 7-0. Field goal under 3 minutes. Daniel Carlson with a 21-yard field goal brings the team 3-7. Still Tennessee leading. In the second quarter, Derrick Henry with the 1-yard run brings the Tennessee 13-3 with the 1 kick by Randy Bullock brings them 14-3. Under 10 minutes, a touchdown by the Raiders. Devin Adams with a 5-yard pass from Derek Carl, and then Darren Carlson kick brings the team 10-14. Under 5 minutes, another touchdown by Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill, 1-yard run, Randy Bullock kick brings the team 21-10. A field goal under less than a minute. They were like literally 0-0-0. Like it was out of time. But the field goal by Tennessee, Randy Bullock, 48-yard field goal brings the team 24-10. Not looking good for the Raiders so far. Third quarter, field goal under 7 minutes. Daniel Carlson, 32-yard field goal brings the team 13-24. On the fourth quarter, another field goal. It's like field goals this whole game, included, well, I would say this whole week. But on the fourth quarter, field goal under 4 minutes, Daniel Carlson, a 35-yard field goal brings the team 16-24. And then at the end, under 2 minutes, touchdown, Mark Hollins, 9-yard pass from Derek Carl. The 2-point conversion was failed. They missed the 2-point conversion, brings the team 22-24, Tennessee winning, and another loss for the Raiders. I'm not sure what is going on with the Raiders. At the end of the day, they are performing. It's not like they're losing terribly, but there's something in there that it's probably the defense. It's who knows? Only the team really knows what's going on. But at the end of the day, you're still losing. You need to perform a lot better. Have your defense actually do their job, because if you're having the other team score 24 points on you, that means your defense is not doing too great. I mean, at the end of the day, you still need to do what you need to do. And the Raiders have shown that they're doing what they have to, but they still need a little tweak. They still need a bit of a tweak so they can take a win. Because right now it's a third week, not too much of a concern yet, but it's actually a bit of a worrying, the fact that you're not winning, you're not performing at the end of the game. You're performing during the game, but not the ending. You still need the ending, which is the winning. So let's go with the Aaron Rodgers and the Packers versus, or they play against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Now this game, another game, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with this with this third week. Low scoring again, 14-12. The Packers take the win, but it's still, I don't know what happened. I don't think I remember seeing a week where all the teams made a lot of field goals. A lot of teams got a low scoring. I don't think I remember. If you remember, well, you can comment down below, but I don't think I remember seeing a week where pretty much all teams were not up top performing. But with that, let's go to the first quarter. Under 10 minutes from the Buccaneers, Ryan Socko, 45-yard field goal brings the team 3-0. Touchdown by the Packers under exactly at the 3-minute. Romo Dubs 5-yard pass from Aaron Rodgers. Not surprised. And then Mason Cosby with the kick brings the team 7-3. In the second quarter, another touchdown under 9 minutes. Alan Lazard, 6-yard pass by Aaron Rodgers again, with Mason Cosby kick brings the team 14-3. In the third quarter, field goal by the Buccaneers under 7 minutes. Ryan Socko, 45-yard field goal brings the team 6-14. The Packers still leading, and then in the fourth quarter, touchdown under a minute. Russell Gare 1-yard pass from Tom Brady, which I, to be honest, was about to ask, where did Tom Brady went? But he brought the touchdown. Two-point conversion was failed, so the team lost 14-12. So, I mean, I still think, a lot of people think that Tom Brady is one of the greatest quarterbacks, and I think that, I mean, it's on and off between Rodgers and Brady, that they're ready a little bit overdue to kind of retire, but at the end of the day, they're still performing, and I personally think that they're doing phenomenal. Their age, I mean, at their age, they're still performing, and I still think that Tom Brady is doing a phenomenal job. This game, I mean, the Packers are just an amazing team. The Buccaneers are too, but the Packers are amazing, and you can't deny that Rodgers has a bit, has experience, although Tom Brady has a bit more experience. But at the end of the day, I think it's just that time where Tom Brady needs to come down and step down. He has been doing the whole, I retire, don't retire, I retire, don't retire. And I think it's about time you almost retire, but I think you still have one more season to go. And not this one, but the next one. And then you can finally think of retiring. With that said, let's go to the FIFA week. What happened to the United States against Japan? I myself am a little bit concerned, because at the end of the day, the United States came pretty strong. They came second to qualifying for the World Cup. Canada being the surprise of the CONCACAF side of the FIFA league, but the United States lost to Japan 2-0. And to me is a little concerning, because in the squad they had their striker Jesus Ferreira, which I'm not too sure why they haven't had or they didn't have their actual players, because they seem to have their backup players still figuring out what's going on with the team and who is going to the World Cup. At this point is you are not supposed to be looking to see who's going to the World Cup. Is you need to have your team set of the one you take into the World Cup, not the one who is probably going to, We're still figuring out. I mean, at the end of the day, November 20th will be the day that the World Cup in Qatar will start. And we're just technically a month away, a month and a half. And you're still figuring out who is going to be in your team. So with this said, in the game at minute 24, Daichi Kamada, right kicker, he scored the first goal for Japan. And then at minute 88, towards the end of the game, Kaoru Mitoma scored right again to bring the 2-0. In the game, Luca de la Torre got a foul, a yellow card, and then out of that was end of the game. There was not really much of the game in the Japan against the United States. But let's go to Mexico against Peru. Now, Mexico against Peru, another game that it was not my like, I would say. It was a really dead game. There was not much movement for both teams, which I, to be honest, don't really think that was something that, again, you're a month and a half away from the World Cup and you guys are still figuring out what the team is. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to have your team set and that team to start proving that why are they worth to be in the World Cup. In Mexico's side, they had Memo Ochoa as the starter goalie. And then you have Cesar Montes, Edison Alvarez, Hector Moreno, Kevin Avila Alvarez, Charlie Rodriguez, Luis Chavez, Jesus Gallardo, Henry Martin, Irving Lozano, and Roberto Alvaro. You have one of the best team, of the best squad so far. You've played with them before. You've already they have already shown what they can do. In the other games, Mexico has it's really hard to acknowledge the fact that the last 7 games, Mexico won 3, lost 2, and tied 2. And you're still figuring out what the team has to do. That's not what we should be worrying about. We should be worrying about why we're not performing. Why are the same players that played the last games ago are still not performing, right? And then as your backup, and then he had as a backup Alfredo Talavera, which is the second goalie, and then Rodolfo Cota, which is the third goalie. And then Nestor Araujo, Johan Vasquez, Gerardo Arteaga, Jesus Alvaro Angulo, Eric Gutierrez, Andres Guardado. Andres Guardado is one of the oldest players in the Mexican League, and he had him in the bench. He's your captain overall, and you had him in the bench. Yeah, he can't fully play now the 90 minutes, but the first 45 minutes probably could get him a good standing for the Mexican team. Definitely can give some more depth to the game. And you still kept him in the bench. In the second half, he puts him in, the team scored. The goal was actually from Irving Lozano at minute 85. And that was actually a pass, an assist by Cesar Montes. But at the end of the day, at minute 68, you bring in Guardado, you bring in Uriel Antuna and Santiago Jimenez. You bring them in at the second half of the half, and you get at the end of the day, you get a score. Why not do it in the first 45 minutes? Prove the first 45 minutes that the team is capable of going to the World Cup. At this point, I'm having my doubts, and I'm pretty sure a lot of a lot of other fans are having their doubts of what Mexico can do in the World Cup. And looking at the grouping there are, which will we go over in the next episodes of the grouping of the FIFA World Cup. I still think that Mexico still has a lot to prove, and they're not doing the best so far. Now, their next game is against Colombia, which will be played at Levi's tonight. Colombia has actually won, out of their 7 games, they have won 5 and lost 2. They haven't tied, but they have lost 2, but they've won 5 out of 7. That says a lot about Colombia. They lost to Peru, which is weird. Mexico won against Peru, and Colombia lost against Peru. That doesn't say that Mexico is a bit better than Colombia. No, that doesn't say that, because they lost also to Argentina, but they've been playing against Argentina, Bolivia, Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and so far out of those games, they've lost only 1, which was against Argentina. They've been playing really good teams, while Mexico has played Uruguay, which they lost 3-0, Ecuador, which they tied, and then, another team that we could be potentially good would be Nigeria, which they won 2-1. So out of all those games, it's a 1-1-1. 1 loss, 1 win, and 1 tie. So this game, I think, will show what Mexico is actually in, what they will do for the World Cup, because they still have, this will be their last game in Latin America. They still have to go to Europe and face other teams, but at the end of the day, you're already close to the World Cup, and you're still figuring out who your players are. That's not for both teams, the United States, Mexico. I think at this point, you guys should really look into who is your starting team and who is the one bringing you the scoring, because the first 45 minutes are the most intense ones. The second 45 minutes, you should be a little bit more relaxed in terms of, well, we're winning already 3-0. I'm not saying put your guard down, because 45 minutes, a lot can happen. Even in 1 minute, a lot can happen. But there's still a lot to work on. And I don't know about you, but I would be a little concerned about my team if right now in these situations, there's still a lot to do. So with that said, I'll be seeing you next week. Again, follow me on Twitter, Koonze Lucia, Facebook, Lucia Koonze, Instagram, Lucia Koonze 9, and TikTok, Lucia K32, for live updates about Colombia against Mexico at Levi Stadium tonight. I'll be there. I'll be bringing you the updates, and I'll be seeing you next week again with more updates on the NFL. We'll see what happens with the 49ers again and the Raiders next week. And also more continuity about the FIFA week, as well as the grouping, starting with the groupings of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar that will start on November. And then also we will start talking about the MLB. We're going to see what's going on with the San Francisco Giants, the Oakland A's, and also start bringing new sports into our segment, which will be Big Ten and the Pac-12. See what the college football games are going, as well as baseball and as well as volleyball. So we'll see all that. Okay. So stay tuned next week. Again, I'm Lucia Koonze. See you next time.